Hello, I'm Inash Ravinsky and you're watching Break the Fake. They make them, we break them, and tell you everything you need to know. The Kremlin's propaganda machine is a fascinating beast. Sometimes it astonishes with the sheer scale of its lies, and sometimes it surprises with an unexpected outburst of honesty. This time it was the latter. In an interview with Belarusian bootlicker Azaronok, a discount Solovyov knockoff for Lukashenko's dictatorship, Russian political analyst Andrei Lazutkin let the mask slip for a moment. He didn't even bother pretending that Moscow supports Trump because they like him. No, the Kremlin doesn't like Trump at all. He's just a convenient chaos agent for them. A useful pawn, or as the Bolsheviks used to say, a useful idiot. Lazutkin, with the bluntness of a man who's been sniffing Soviet mothballs for far too long, explained that Russia's real interest isn't some grand alliance with Trump, but rather the pure, undiluted chaos he brings to the West. The more confusion, the more dysfunction, the better for the Kremlin. How will this chaos be realized? He mused, as if contemplating the finer points of a destabilization plan like a true imperial bureaucrat. Through broken promises, through new attempts, I don't know. And the more chaos there is, the better it probably will be for Russia.
Мы с вами еще до выборов американских говорили, что нам выгоден не сам Трамп, который наш не друг ни разу. Выгоден просто хаос внутри США. Как этот хаос будет реализовываться? Через невыполнение обещаний, через какие-то новые покушения, через, я не знаю, там, БЛМ, который, помнится, тогда был, когда вводили Нацгвардию там, в отдельные штаты американские. Это тоже такого не было никогда вообще там с момента, не знаю, войны, когда японцев рассаживали по лагерям, вот эти интернирования проводили. А тем не менее, все это происходило при Трампе в первый срок. Поэтому, ну что ж, то ли еще будет. И чем вот будет сильнее этот хаос, ну, наверное, тем все-таки для России лучше. А не просто сделка, не просто там разработка в Арктике чего-то, не просто там замерение Зеленского, который, ну, он ненавидит Россию. Как вы с ним что будете подписывать, и завтра он переизберется на выборах? Что, к чему вернется ситуация там через полгода? Ну, нам это, белорусам, непонятно, но я думаю, президент с Владимиром Владимировичем все это скоро обсудит. Запланирована встреча наших президентов. Я думаю, что точка зрения по Трампу, там, по Палестине, по Украине, все это будет совмещено, обсуждаться, и я думаю, что к какому-то консенсусу наши руководители придут.
That is the elegance of Russian foreign policy. Why build anything when you can simply set the world on fire and warm your hands over the embers? Who needs diplomacy when you can just wait for your adversaries to trip over their own feet? And as Lazutkin gleefully pointed out, why would Moscow negotiate with Zelensky? He's up for re-election soon. The implication is clear. Russia doesn't deal with elected leaders. It prefers dictators, preferably those who last for a lifetime and occasionally fall out of windows. And so, as the Kremlin's circus rolls on, Trump, whether he realizes it or not, remains the favorite blunt instrument, a wrecking ball aimed at the West. He doesn't need to be pro-Russian, he just needs to be predictably unpredictable. A force of nature that keeps democracy wobbling on its heels. Because in Putin's world, if you can't win fairly, just make sure the other guy loses harder. Alright, pop quiz. Who's the current US State Secretary responsible for shaping the nation's foreign policy? Did I hear you say Marco Rubio? Well, you're quite right, except does everybody think so? Elon Musk probably doesn't. I mean, check this out. Poland has been one of America's staunchest allies over the years, a top purchaser of US military gear. So, what do you do to advance the Polish-American alliance? If you're Elon Musk, you disrespect a top Polish official. Repeatedly. You might remember how it went. There were doubts concerning Ukraine's continued access to the Starlink system. Elon owns Starlink. Poland pays for Starlink. Poland's foreign minister Radosław Sikorski said that if Starlink is unreliable, another commercial partner for Ukraine's security might be sought. Pretty ordinary stuff, right? Well, wrong. Elon launched the whole small man comment into the stratosphere in response, telling Sikorski to be quiet. Sikorski ignored him and chose to respond diplomatically to the "Be Thankful" tweet from Marco Rubio instead. You know this part of the story, right? So let's fast forward to when Musk actually had to back away, but was seemingly quite salty about it. What happened was this. Elon made reassurances that he would never take Starlink away from Ukrainians, which many saw as a major win for Poland's foreign minister. After all, Mr. Sikorski got what he wanted. He also scored a second win by having Rubio effectively admit that the US knows what Russia wants with Ukraine, not peace but conquest, right up to the Polish border. In short, a double W for Poland and a big L for Elon. So, what did the world's wealthiest man do? Throw a bit of a tantrum, that's what. First, he endorsed some random ex-users' aspersions cast against Sikorski and personally called him a Soros puppet. Yeah, that old obsession again, a wealthy plutocrat pulling the strings, interfering with governments around the world. And we're not talking about Elon anymore, believe it or not. Elon also accused Ukrainians of being the force behind a DDoS attack, which briefly took the X platform down. The evidence being of the familiar "trust me bro" variety. Classy. Well, at least he didn't say George Soros did that, but it's hardly an improvement. We're still deep in tinfoil hat territory here. Which brings us back to our pop quiz. If we asked Elon, who is supposed to run US diplomacy, he would probably say it is him. Recent reports show that he and Rubio actually had a bit of a row in front of President Trump himself, and Trump actually had to step in and take Rubio's side as a result. Musk absolutely loves the idea of butting in when something important happens, like elections in Germany or elections in Romania. If only it was simply the case of the tail wagging the Doge. But now, it's the entire kennel, apparently. Make no mistake, in Elon's mind, he's destined to own the Oval Office one day. He's actually acting surprised that Trump doesn't simply step down, amazed by his greatness, and let him have it. J.D. Vance be damned. Mr. President, do the expedient thing and fire the man before he gets any more ideas. To paraphrase one of my favorite Bring Me the Horizon songs, his ego is not your amigo. The beauty of Russian historical truth, a delicate tapestry woven together with state-approved myths, selective amnesia, and the occasional threat of imprisonment for anyone daring to remember things as they actually happened. On a Russian TV show, one unfortunate soul made the grave mistake of casually mentioning a historical fact that the Soviet Union invaded Finland and, in a lovely display of camaraderie, carved up Poland alongside Nazi Germany under the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact. This, of course, was an unforgivable sin. Enter Yevgeny Spitsin, a Stalinist historian and full-time reality denier, who immediately threatened to write a denunciation against the offender for falsifying World War II history, a crime that, in today's Russia, can earn you a nice, all-expenses-paid vacation in a penal colony.
Советский Союз вторгся на территорию Польши или Финляндии, Советско-финской войны, это тоже была война империалистическая. То есть, что, Финляндия же не напала на Россию, не напала, а Польша тоже не нападала.
Как это не напала? Здрасте, приехали.
То есть, финны напали на прошлое.
Так они обстреляли нашу территорию из артиллерийских орудий. Финны все время совершали провокации на нашей границе. Мы пытались урегулировать пограничный вопрос мирным путем. Было 3 раунда переговоров. Выборгский район, кстати.
Сталин же выдал ультиматум, что нужно отдать часть земель, чтобы отодвинуть границу от Ленинграда.
Все правильно. А вы считали, что не надо было отодвигать границу? Чтобы финны и немцы взяли Ленинград. Вы так хотите?
Нет,
патриот такой, ушастый.
Нет, наоборот.
Вот и вылезла предательская суть. Когда Советский Союз вошел в Польшу.
1939 год, раздел Польши между Германией и Советским Союзом.
Извините, я сразу после этого пойду в прокуратуру, напишу заявление. Да. Есть статья о фальсификации истории Второй мировой войны. Вы под нее вот сейчас точно подписали себе тюремный срок.
Because, let's be honest, history in Russia isn't about what happened. It's about what the state needs to have happened. One day, the Soviet Union is the noble liberator of Europe, and the next day, any mention of its inconvenient collaborations with the Third Reich is treasonous heresy. The archives may contain documents the world may remember, but the Kremlin's version of events is set in stone, unchallenged, unchangeable, and enforced by the threat of a jail cell. So, in true Soviet fashion, the message is clear. History isn't written by the victors. It's rewritten by the bureaucrats, policed by the zealots, and enforced by the secret police. And with this, we conclude this episode of Break the Fake. Please stay with us here on DVP World for more latest news and updates.